Imagine the audacity of sending elite, ultra-trained units far behind enemy lines, without reinforcements, to strike where no one was expecting them. This idea, revolutionary for its time, gave rise to the legendary British elite Commandos, the Special Air Service, also known as the SAS. Created in 1941 at the height of the Second World War by Lieutenant David Sterling, the SAS represents the elite of courage, strategy, and human strength. Sterling conceived of a force made up of small, experienced groups capable of operating in total autonomy in enemy territory, conducting covert operations with formidable precision and discretion. Thus was born the SAS, an elite unit whose legacy still resonates today. Faced with the relentless advance of the German Afrika Korps across North Africa, the British fought fierce battles in the hostile deserts of Libya, Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria. It was in these arid and inhospitable theaters that the SAS was born. Made up of small, daring, and highly trained teams, these early SAS units infiltrated deep behind enemy lines to carry out lightning raids against vital German infrastructure. Enemy airfields, the main targets of the SAS, were nerve centers for the German army, providing transport, supplies, and air cover. By neutralizing them, the SAS directly disrupted the Afrika Korps' logistical and defensive capabilities, paralyzing supplies, destroying aircraft, and weakening the Axis war effort in North Africa. As the world's first special forces unit, the SAS redefined what it meant to be an elite soldier. Their ability to carry out perilous missions has inspired countless other special forces units around the world. SAS operators continually outmaneuvered their enemies with ingenious tactics, laying the foundations for a legendary unit. Their legacy continues to influence modern military strategies. The SAS represents an exceptional combination of courage and innovation in the face of extreme challenges, earning it a distinguished and respected place in military history. Joining the Special Air Service, SAS, is an intense 6-month journey, an ordeal that only a very few candidates manage to overcome. The initial selection process, renowned for its extreme physical and psychological demands, begins in the Brecon Beacons, a rugged region of Wales known as the Hills. For 4 weeks, the candidates endure endless forced marches, often under heavy loads, across steep terrain. The violent wind and incessant rain add to the difficulty of this unforgiving climate. Exhaustion weighed heavily on the recruits, and only those capable of overcoming pain and doubt could hope to pass this first stage of selection. After triumphing over the selection process at the Hills, the recruits move on to the jungle training phase, a rigorous test of their survival and adaptation skills. This part of the training takes place mainly in the sweltering jungles of Belize or Brunei in Southeast Asia, where the humidity weighs heavily and daylight struggles to penetrate the thick canopy. The rustling of leaves and the sounds of invisible animals accentuate the ever-present tension, creating an atmosphere where every shadow seems to harbor danger. In this hostile environment, the candidates learn the fundamentals of jungle warfare, the art of ambush, stealthy movement, and the best use of concealment. They have to contend with sleep deprivation, oppressive heat, fear, and constant discomfort, challenges that forge their mental and physical stamina in a unique and unforgiving environment. The induction phase for jungle warfare and tactics includes intensive training to build recruits' psychological stamina. In chaotic environments, recruits learn to analyze and react rationally, keeping their emotions in check. At this stage, candidates are pushed to their limits, with the aim of eliminating any recruits who lack the necessary resilience. The skills acquired during this stage will be crucial for operations abroad, where SAS will have to navigate with often limited knowledge of their environment. This phase ensures that elite soldiers are prepared for the most complex missions, whatever the international context. The distinctive essence of SAS training cannot be identified solely by their rigorous training, as their principles and operations have already defined 2 worlds. One of the best known is Operation Nimrod, which took place on the 5th of May, 1980 at the Iranian embassy in London. Iranian terrorists invaded the building, holding a total of 26 people hostage in order to secure the release of 11 prisoners serving life sentences. For 6 days, the negotiations stalled, and the city held its breath in growing tension. The situation came to a head when the hostage-takers coldly executed Abbas Lavasani, an Iranian press attaché. Wearing black uniforms, masks, and respirators, the members of the assault unit entered the building from the roof, smashing windows and creating entry points with explosive charges. Smoke grenades are used to disorientate the terrorists and create a smokescreen, reducing visibility and giving the SAS soldiers an advantage, while protecting them from enemy fire. Thanks to the respirators, the operators remained fully effective despite the dense smoke that filled the area. The operation, carried out with surgical precision, was completed in less than 24 minutes. Unfortunately, another hostage, Ali Akbar Samazadeh, lost his life in the confusion of the final assault. But the SAS still freed the majority of the hostages and neutralized the terrorists. They once again demonstrated their speed, skill, and unfailing effectiveness in the fight against terrorism. This operation made history and confirmed their unrivaled status among the world's elite units. The testimonies of former SAS members offer a vivid insight into their unwavering dedication and the extreme hardships they faced. In his account of the Bravo 20 mission during the Gulf War, 1990-91, Andy McNabb recounts how his team, sent to Iraq to sabotage support lines and track Scud ballistic missiles, saw their mission turn into a nightmare. Pursued relentlessly by Iraqi army patrols across the hostile desert, McNabb is captured, enduring weeks of torture, which he overcomes with exceptional mental strength and resilience in the face of brutal interrogation. His comrade Chris Ryan also managed to escape his captors, surviving by traveling more than 180 miles to the Syrian border. Their stories reveal that behind every mission lies a dark reality of risk and sacrifice, where only endurance and courage can overcome adversity. The training that prepares agents for this type of mission goes far beyond mere physical preparation. The aim is to condition them psychologically so that they retain their composure in situations where their lives are at stake. Led by instructors who are themselves veterans of numerous operations, this training immerses recruits in high-intensity environments designed to test their mental limits. From simulations of sudden explosions to tactical combat in complex urban settings filled with fictitious enemies, each scenario is meticulously crafted to replicate the chaos of real-life missions. The role of the SAS has evolved over the decades, with officers deployed in conflict zones around the world, from clandestine operations during the Northern Ireland Troubles to counter-terrorism missions in Afghanistan and elsewhere. In Sierra Leone in 2000, the SAS played a crucial role in rescuing hostages held by a ruthless militia, once again demonstrating their expertise in critical situations. Their intervention is often decisive, but the details of their missions remain strictly confidential. Despite the silence that surrounds their operations, those who serve in the SAS do so in the knowledge that their efforts serve causes greater than themselves. They carry the weight of their actions, the bonds forged by shared danger, and the moments when failure is not an option. The motto, "Who dares wins," is not just a phrase, it's a promise to face the impossible with courage, to adapt and win, and to protect those who can't protect themselves. This is the legacy of the SAS, a legacy of sacrifice, excellence, and unwavering commitment to its credo. Thank you for sharing this journey through the history and heroism of the SAS with us. We hope this story has inspired you and provided some unique perspectives. Stay tuned for our next video, where we dive into Operation Eagle Claw in 1980, a daring but tragic mission by U.S. forces to free hostages in Iran. Stay tuned for the fascinating lessons and details of this historic operation.